Good morning, class 12. Welcome to economics class. Children, in the last class, we have discussed about the functions of money in detail. We have discussed about all the three aspects of money, that is primary functions, secondary functions and contingent functions. Children, today also we will continue with the same chapter, but today we are going to finish this chapter, that is chapter number 13, money. So children, few topics are left, so let's discuss that. Children, first we need to discuss today is money supply. Children, money supply refers to the stock of money at a point of time held with the public. So let's first talk and understand meaning of money supply in detail. So children, money supply refers to the stock of money at a point of time held by the public as a means of payment and store of value. Yes, you remember store of value, it was one of the secondary function of money, right? Children, when we talk about the definition of money supply, we need to know two important facts. Number one, money supply refers to the money held by the public in the country. The term public refers here to all the economic units, including private individual, business firms and institution. But children, remember that we don't take producers of money here, and producers of money are central bank, government and commercial bank, and mainly central bank. Thus, the currency held by the government in the treasury and the money lying with the central bank and commercial bank is never ever included in money supply. Money supply basically refers to the money in circulation, but the money held by the government in treasury or with the central bank or with the commercial banks is not in circulation. So we don't include the value of money held by the banks, either it's central bank, either it's commercial bank, right? Second important point which we need to consider here is that money supply is a stock concept. Which concept? Stock concept. Why? Because something which is measured at a point of time is stock, and money supply here is a stock concept, and therefore it is measured at a point of time. Right, children? So these were the two things which you need to remember regarding definition of money supply. Children, you can see this in the slide. Money supply is one of the important indicator of macroeconomics. Which economics? Macroeconomics. Second thing, that refers to the total volume of money circulating in the economy at a point of time, a point in time. Money supply in an economy determines liquidity condition in the market, which in turn impact interest rate, structures and hence the cost of capital to the firms. Right, children? Now, children, we will be discussing about the second topic of this money supply, second related topic of this concept, that is money supply, and that is components of money supply. Children, total money supply in the country consists of two important components. Number one, currency component. See, I have mentioned this in the slide. And second, deposit component. Let's discuss about the first, that is currency. It includes both paper currency and coins issued by the government and the central bank of the country. Children, you know that only central bank circulates currency. Fine, they have got a monopoly right of note issue. Yes, coins are used to carry out transaction of small denomination. These days, coins are invariably issued by the government. These coins are token coins, where the face value is much higher than the metallic value. I told you in the last class, token money. Yes. So, these coins are very small components of modern money system. Children, currency notes or paper currency is the most important component of money supply. Children, the central bank in every country enjoys the monopoly of issuing currency notes. I told you. However, in India, central bank issues 1 rupee note. Other central government basically issues 1 rupee note. Other notes and coins of higher denominations are issued by Reserve Bank of India. Yes, paper currency and coins are fiat money because they serve as a money on the order of the government, and that is why they are known as legal tender. Right? Coming to the second component, that is deposit component, or you can say deposit money. It refers to the demand deposit held by the public with the commercial bank on the basis of which checks can be drawn. Children, demand deposits held by the public are also known as bank money. Right? The use of demand deposit withdrawable through check is convenient and safe. The deposit facilitates the exact amount of payment through check. It is important to note that deposit money is not a legal tender. Why? Because anyone can deny from accepting a check, but nobody can deny to accept if the note is original. If the paper currency is original, nobody can deny taking that money. So paper currency is legal tender, and demand deposits, like whether it's check, whether it's ATM card, debit card, credit card, it's not a legal tender, right? So it is important to note that deposit money is not a legal tender. These deposits functions as a money on the basis of trust of the person who makes the payment through check. The currency component of money supply is higher in underdeveloped countries as compared to developed countries due to less developed banking system and less banking habit of the people. For example, in India, currency money constitute about 50% of total money supply at present as compared to 18% that of USA and most of the developed countries. Right, children? So, you need to learn here that money supply is having two basic components. Number one, currency component. Number two, deposit component. And children, council can also ask a short question that what is currency component and what is demand deposit or what is deposit component. Right, children? Remember, deposit component is also known as bank money. Okay, and these are also known as demand deposits, right? Now, children, we have discussed about money supply. Children, in relation to this topic, we need to talk about the measures of money supply used in India. There are variety of measures of financial assets in the economy like cash, bank deposits, etc. So there are four basic components of measurement of money supply, and they are M1, M2, M3 and M4. This I am explaining you in my next video. So now watch my next video. Right, children?